plastic manufacturers will send their over 30,000 workers home and shut down production for at least 1 week if the Ministry of Finance does not halt a planned 5% tax on all locally manufactured plastic products in 7 days. Now, that is the conclusion, the ultimatum from the Ghana Plastic Manufacturers Association of Ghana, describing the tax as obnoxious and retrogressive. Shortly, we'll hear from the leadership of the industry. Right now, though, let's bring you some information on the government plans for to tax, plastic products. So, according to what we have, government will review the excise rate on beer and expand the environmental excise duty to cover plastic packaging and industrial as well as vehicle emission. And this is in the 2024 budget already in motion. Now, the Ghana Plastic Manufacturers Association, they've given 7 days ultimatum to shut down due to the proposed 5% tax on plastic packaging that we are told is almost about taking effect in the country. And they say that that will result in some people losing their jobs as well. And they estimate that over 30,000 workers will be affected with this 1 week shutdown, and they will have to go home. And this is to tell government that something must be done about this 5% tax. So the tax imposition will cover cost of producing plastic products. That will go up. Consumers will pay more for the products. Those are the impacts that we think will have on this 5% tax on plastic products. Yes, so, a means to reduce plastic environmental pollution. That's, in essence, what the tax is seeking to do, to reduce plastic pollution that we have in our country. We've been running series on plastics, and you know how devastating it is having on the environment. So this 5% tax, according to government, is to reduce plastic pollution. Right, so the president of the Ghana Plastic Manufacturers Association, Ebobochi, says the tax, if allowed to increase the prices of medicine, beverages, sachet water, and other products that rely heavily on plastic for aid production or packaging.
Our position on the 5% excise tax still stands as follows: that the implementation of the 5% excise tax on factory price of all locally manufactured plastic products and packaging be suspended immediately and indefinitely. That a better, a deeper and broad-based stakeholder consultation is done on the idea of any excise tax on locally manufactured plastic products. That a well-defined locally manufactured plastic product list is established. It will be unfair to put such tax on, say, plastic chair, plastic table, plastic buckets, plastic household wares, water tanks, PVC pipes, plastic TNG, plastic crates, data duct pipes, paint gallons, industrial containers, lubricants, engine oil gallons, pens, HDP water and gas pipes, ice chest, tomato paste pouches, biscuits wrappers, traffic cones, electrical fittings, electrical trunking, conduit pipes, plumbing fittings, blood infusion bags, maize, rice sacks, sellotapes, jerry cans, even foam mattress is made out of plastic. At this stage, we appeal to the Vice President of the Republic, His Excellency Dr. Bawumia, to intervene in this matter, because the effect of this consumer tax will really affect the masses, the common man, the common woman, who suffer extreme hardship. In conclusion, we ask GRA to stop the harassment of plastic manufacturers. I take it again. We ask GRA, Ghana Revenue Authority, to stop the harassment of plastic manufacturers. And we give government, the Ministry of Finance, 1 week to respond to our request. Or we shall have no any other option than for all plastic manufacturers to shut down production for at least 1 week. And of course, we will send home over 30,000 workers.
Well, the Ghana Plastic Manufacturers Association is also accusing the Ghana Revenue Authority of harassing its members over the new tax.
It is very frustrating and disturbing that as we patiently wait for the appropriate response from government, the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, has started issuing demand notices and threats to plastic manufacturers, asking us to start filing for the 5% excise tax with effect from 21st June, or we face up with an assessment to pay with punitive penalties and possibly lock up of our investments if we do not comply. GRA should stop coming after us until there is clarity on this ambiguous tax. The strange part of all of these is that we are still paying the existing 10% environmental excise tax on selected plastic materials at the entry points, even as I speak to you now. Let me say it again, that the GPMA, which is the umbrella organization for the plastic industry, was never consulted.
Well, there's been more reaction to this 5% tax. The president of the Association of Sachet and Packaged Water Producers, Magnus Nunu, says they will be forced to also shut down their production plants for 1 week because they cannot package water in paper.
The main body that supplies us with our packaging material shuts down. What does it mean? It means that you wake up from the day they shut down, there will be no bottled water, there will be no sachet water. Automatically, we have to fall in line by default. Because we can't package it in paper. We still have to package it in plastic materials, be it bottled water or sachet water. And this is, I believe, must cause the authorities to sit down and reconsider the decision. I don't think they're asking too much. And it goes without a saying that when two elephants are fighting, it is the grass that suffers. Here, it is the consumers who will have to endure the hardship of going without water for 1 week. Don't joke with it. The consequences can be daring, and I believe it's not a situation we as a country are prepared for. In all strike situations, ultimately, there is almost always a truce during negotiations. But that always comes at a cost to the vulnerable, that's the poor. Doctors' strike would always almost end up with some casualties, deaths. Teachers' strikes will end up, we saw it before it's resolved, with students dropping out of school. A strike by GPMA members would definitely not go without a challenge. Poor individual may drink polluted water from Galamsey, and it could have generational effects drink water that is polluted with cyanide and mercury. It could affect your genetics.
Well, let's stay around this matter of plastic and pollution because it remains a significant challenge for many locals in the Greater Accra metropolis and other parts of the country. However, a non-profit agency, Planet Waves Ghana, is seeking to solve the challenge with an alternative initiative that will replace single-use plastic. Naomi Suzuki, the spouse of Japan's ambassador to Ghana, who is joining this coalition environmentalist, says she's hopeful Ghanaians will join the fight in ending the indiscriminate dumping of plastic waste in the environment.
Pollution has become a menace in Ghana. According to the United Nations Environment Programme, the challenge is not unique to the country as it is considered a global problem. As stakeholders continue to explore sustainable solutions, non-profit organization Planet Waves Ghana says finding alternatives to single-use plastic might just be the solution. A leading member of the group, Naomi Suzuki, who is also spouse to Japanese ambassador to Ghana, says judging from her last visit to the country, the situation still persists.
I do see a worsening of the environment here in Ghana, having, been here once before. I'm able to compare the situation, and I see a lot of development taking place in Ghana, as well as the pollution getting worse.
The alternatives to single-use plastics for Naomi and members of the Planet Waves Ghana is the use of these sustainable bags made from environmentally friendly materials.
I do see a big problem when I go and shop at supermarkets and vendors in the street. We get free polythene bags, which are very thin and very bad quality, and you use them only single time, and then afterwards you just throw them away. So we want to reduce this, and we are offering an alternative way. So we encourage people to carry their own bags made out of cloth. We can also go for baskets. But we create very beautiful upcycled cloth bags out of flour sacks, out of old garments. Later I can show you what we do.
An associated problem with these non-decomposing single-use plastics is the small pools of water created in plastic litter that are ideal breeding grounds for mosquitoes, which in turn cause malaria. Concerned about the fact that innocent children may have suffered remote impacts of plastic pollution, Naomi availed her skills as a pianist to supporting charity events of Infanta Malaria, another non-profit foundation dedicated to malaria prevention and other good causes.
So I spend a lot of time practicing my piano, and I perform concerts. And here in Ghana, I do mostly fundraising concerts. I use music as a peaceful tool to help the needy. And so in this way, my love for music can be useful for others. And I feel very dearly about my host country, Ghana. Therefore, I've done several fundraising concerts.
Well, plastics and malaria may seem as two distinct topics, but we do know, and the experts tell us, that plastic waste could lead to the breeding of mosquitoes, which in turn cause malaria. So it appears that you're solving two problems at the same time, isn't it?
Exactly. But Infanta is also very busy trying to do their bits. And our NGO, is also fully engaged in so many different activities. Everything can be recycled and can become resources instead of waste.
For Naomi, every note strikes a chord with her inner belief that the environment needs to be protected from the effects of single-use plastics, and also the need for Ghanaians to embrace sustainable bags as a solution to this plastic menace.
So I want all the Ghanaians to take care of your motherland, because it just happens that I am a Japanese and I'm only here for a certain period of time. And if I feel so passionate about your mother country, motherland, then why not you, your Ghanaians, you have to protect, please, your motherland. Don't litter, and please be conscious about your actions.
That was amazing. But who's the composer of this song?
Blessed Sugan's report for JoyNews, Accra.
So remember that before we brought you that inspiring piano plastic, conversation, we were actually on the issue of the manufacturers threatening to shut down their plants for 1 week because of government decision to impose 5% on plastic use. Now let's get on the phone lines and speak to the president of the Ghana Plastic Manufacturers Association, Ebo Boche. Mr. Boche, good afternoon. Welcome to the Post.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
Right. So you've threatened that you're going to shut down your plants for 1 week. That will lead to 30,000, workforce go home. Do you think that this will be enough to get government to rethink this decision?
Well, I think if we really put the analysis across board, it is not just the 30,000 plastic manufacturers workers, but then it's going to go against a lot of industries. As we keep saying that almost 98% of companies or industries or the manufacturing sector in Ghana depend on the plastic manufacturers for their packaging, plastic packaging. Without the packaging, you cannot do anything. The coke you take, the medicine, the lubricants, everything, it is packaged in some form of plastic. So it is going to have a cascading effect across board. And we don't think we need to go there because what government is trying to do, it doesn't make any economic sense. And from the word go, they never consulted us. This is an official tax. It wouldn't work. It cannot work in Ghana. It will not work in any other country for that matter. And I think the Ministry of Finance is collaborating up to a point. But it's a matter of the GRA. We don't seem to get the understanding. GRA is just bent on going all out, threatening plastic manufacturers. Either you charge, you collect, you file, or we come, assess you, we put penalties, and then close down your investment. We think this kind of approach is not a best from GRA. And if it is so, then we better shut down our plant. And we are trying to serve this notice so that government and GRA can sit down with us and have a better conversation. We don't want to get to that stage of shutting down our machine.
All right. Mr. Boche, so, I mean, the memo that accompanied this proposed tax, according to government, is to use the proceeds, part of it, to help deal with the havoc plastic is causing the environment. Surely, you must be interested in how your plastic ends up destroying the environment.
That would have been fantastic. But and I say but again, this tax has been rated government revenue. So it is not going to go into plastic waste management or recycling. It is a pure government revenue.
Right.
If you still remember, we have a 10% environmental tax at the port, which is still, we are paying. These monies have accrued over 1.97 billion. Not a single city has been disbursed for the purpose of recycling or plastic waste management. For these excise 5% excise tax, it is clear that it is government revenue, and it is very bad approach.
So there was no consultation with you before, before
Zero
GRA alerted you to be in readiness for the collection?
Zero consultation.
Zero consultation?
Yes.
And so you think that government has not shown enough, openness in terms of getting you on board in the implementation of this tax?
Exactly. And, when it comes to plastics, it's quite technical. And for the technocrats with Ministry of Finance or government, they will not have that background to understand and to come up with the appropriate policy as far as plastics are concerned. So it is very important that government will always involve the experts. Even for us, that we've been in this business for over 30 years, plastic keeps changing in terms of material and application every other day. So we even have to go keep ourselves upgrading with technology. So it is very important for government to really consult us. Indeed, the 10% excise tax, it is us. We proposed, we did the drafting, we lobbied for this law because we knew come this day we'll have issues with plastic waste and recycling. We did all this, and government is taking it for granted.
So Mr. Woche, why don't you have a sit-down with government or the Ghana Revenue Authority with the aim of coming to some resolution, instead of taking this hard line of closing down your manufacturing plants in 1 week, if government does not take the necessary steps to abandon this proposal?
This is exactly what we are looking for, and we've already started some engagement with Ministry of Finance. We are waiting for the Honorable Minister to come back and to see what proposals are there.
Right.
But it is the GRA officials, the Commissioner General, they are the ones chasing us. We are patiently waiting for the minister to come, and then we'll engage and then have a common understanding. But GRA says no. From 21st of June, you guys have to charge and pay us. Otherwise, we'll surcharge you, give you penalty. If you don't comply, we'll close down. So this is what is forcing us. It is not government or Ministry of Finance per se. It is the GRA. Their approach is what is pushing us to shut down.
All right. Thank you very much, President of the Ghana Plastic Manufacturers Association, Ebo Boche, with that matter. Now,